Can choosing the right search coil for your metal detector improve your finds rate? Well, let's find out. Well, we know in theory that the smaller search coil will work better amongst the iron for separation, and it may be more sensitive to smaller targets, whereas the bigger search coil will give us better ground coverage and more depth on the bigger targets. Well, here's the grey area. Now, if you were searching with a smaller coil, what's the chances of you missing potential targets because of the coverage? Whereas if you're using a bigger coil, you've got more ground coverage, so in theory you should be finding more targets. So this makes it into a bit of a lottery, doesn't it? Because both sides have a valid argument. Really simple. I'm going to try each coil for about 15 minutes just to give them all a fair whack, and we can hear how they react and see if we can dig any targets. So this is the first coil I'm going to try, and it's called the M8. It's a small elliptical coil. Let's get it on the Manticore and give it a whiz. Now we're just walking over the busy patch, so I'm going to come back over this busy patch with the different coils and just see how they deal with it. Again, false signals, so we need to adjust this machine to suit the little patch we're walking over, because the field changes, you know. Sometimes you can use a high sensitivity, other parts of the field you have to just drop it down, and the same applies to wet and dry conditions. And I'm sure we'll be making changes based on the size of the coil as well. So I'm not going to spend too long with each coil because it'll be a really long video. Iron. So far with this M8 coil, it's light, it's nimble. I just feel I'm in control of it. And obviously, to get the most out of your sweeps, you really want to be overlapping the sweeps. I think we all do that for the first 10 minutes, and then we start getting into bad habits, don't we? Well, I know I certainly do. And the sweep always seems faster on camera, for those of you who are thinking I'm sweeping too fast. Don't know why. Sulky teenager, yeah, they're the ones I gravitate to on these ancient sites. And obviously, because of this small profile, pinpointing is an absolute breeze. It's a tiny, tiny fragment of lead. Okay, only a piece of lead, but it come through loud and clear. There's one there. The depth meter is telling us it's quite a deep one. And we've got two icons there. Well, we've actually got three icons, but if I'm to put the meter out the equation, audio wise, I dig that. It's gone to a high tone. There you go. I'd say that was a Roman coin. In fact, I know it's a Roman coin. That's quite a good one. And about 8 inches deep. So, brilliant. Very, very nimble, easy to pinpoint, quite nice to use. It's going to be great in confined spaces, and it had that sensitivity to those small targets, like those small pieces of lead. Good depth on that Roman coin, about 8 inches, although the meter was a little bit confused, but that's understandable. So what's the difference between a round coil and an elliptical coil? Well, these are just my personal thoughts, but I think the round coil is more sensitive than the elliptical coil. And that's not always a good thing. Sometimes they can be a little bit too sensitive. And the elliptical coil is obviously a smaller profile, so you can get it in between places. But Like I say, personally I think the elliptical coil is not quite as sensitive, so it can run a bit smoother. So let's go on now to the M9 round coil and see how it performs over the same patch of land. Here we go. Well, if you've got a Manticore, Equinox or any other machine for that matter, why not sign up for one of my Skill School one-to-one training sessions? The links can be found below or on the Skill School website. Here we go then, M9 coil. Do you know what, I don't know if it's just me, but this actually feels lighter than the elliptical coil. Straight into our first target there. Nice one. Look, the bullet casing. Straight into another target. Similar sort of reading. Is that another casing? Don't know. Look, another casing. I'm just about to get attacked by a wasp. Well, I can feel that this coil is really at home on this machine, and it seems to be suiting this site, I think. I don't know, perhaps it's just me. Coming up at 20, 21. Tiny piece of lead, look. Okay. Okay, here's the iron patch, just coming onto it now. Perfect. Another piece of lead. Okay, that's my 15 minutes with the M9 coil. Interesting, we found, I think, more targets with the M9 coil, but I didn't find anything deep. That's not to say it doesn't go deep, it's just the way the luck goes, isn't it? So let's go and get the M11 coil now, which is the stock coil for the Manticore. M11. Straight away, I can feel that this coil is a lot more substantial. It's got some more weight to it. It's got a little bit more inertia when you swing it, and this is why it's always a good idea to use this strap. It doesn't have to be tight, it just stops the inertia from the sweep. No adjustments made to the sensitivity or anything like that, just keeping as is. No erratic noises, no instability. It's behaving pretty much how the other coils were behaving. Iron. I think a big advantage with these larger coils is you don't really have to scrub the ground with it, so you can actually search with them a little bit higher off the ground, so you're not getting stopped by obstacles like stubble, the grass, things like that. So far it seems to be pretty stable. There's a low one there. Another tiny piece of lead, look. Arrgh. Iron. Oh, little low one. Sulky teenager again. Perfect. No, another piece of lead. Oh, this lead's driving me bonkers at the moment. Don't give up, keep going. Well, that sounds nice. Coming up at 30, 31. Not another bit of lead, please. Yeah, a bit of moisture to this part of the field, look. Got it. There she is, she's a Roman coin. Quite a good one actually. Yep, that looks pretty good. Hey, I persevered with that lead and I was rewarded, thank you God. Okay, game on. M15 coil, let's see how that does. Of course, it's slightly heavier, not as heavy as what I thought actually. I wouldn't say I could search with this coil all day long, but I could search with it for, you know, short periods, couple of hours at a time. Iron. Here's the iron patch now we're just walking over. Quite a low conductor there. Sulky teenager, coming up at about 19. Tiny little bullet, look. Again, another small target. You certainly get the impression that you're covering some ground, that's for sure. Iron. So what have we got here? We've got obviously a coil that can cover a lot of ground, but have you noticed how sensitive it is? It really is quite sensitive, so I don't know, the jury's out really. Let's keep going for a bit more. We've got another 5 minutes left of this session. So we're on that busy iron patch now. The coil has got a little bit sparky, a little bit spitty, because it's seeing lots of things under its search pattern every sweep. So it's having to work a little bit harder, perhaps trying to single things out. That's iron. So we've already seen that this coil can find the small targets, the low conductors. So that alone's impressed me quite a bit. But it'd just be interesting to see if it can find something in amongst this iron. And you know what? It's having a really good go, isn't it? No. Listen to that iron. Okay, you can raise the reactivity a little bit, recovery speed just a touch, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I can work with this. Little low conductor there, coming up at 3. Draw it back, disappears, so it's just under the nose of the coil there. Just a tiny little sliver of something. A low conductive target, wasn't it? So that's quite impressive, although it's nothing interesting. Okay, I could have buried some targets and wiggled the coils over the top of it, but I didn't feel that would be a fair test of what they're capable of. Okay, here's my take on it. the big 15-inch coil and the elliptical coil specialist coils, the M8 and M11 general searching coils. There you go anywhere coils. Now if you had the M15 and M9 coil, I think there'd be a complementary set of coils to use with your Manticore. But again, it's entirely up to you. What do you need out of a coil? Do you need ground coverage? Do you need target separation? Or do you just need general searching? And I think this bad boy needs a video of its own. So join me next time when I'm going to be going out with this Coiltech M18 coil and giving it a try. At the moment, we've run out of time. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.